Today we're gonna make baked French onion soup, and it really has very simple ingredients. You have 2 onions, some beef broth, a little bit of water, some brown sugar, and some Worcestershire sauce. So to begin, we're going to cut up our onions, and when you cut them up, make them into a little bit thicker chunks. They will cook down, so they're gonna shrink, but we wanna get them to a nice size that when you take a spoonful, they're not just like dripping everywhere. In this pan, I've melted a 1/2 cup of butter, and I'm gonna add in my chopped up onions. Put those all in there. I'm gonna add the Worcestershire sauce, which is 1 teaspoon, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, and we're going to mix that all together until all of the onions are coated with the butter, and the brown sugar and the Worcestershire sauce is kind of spread throughout everything. So you can see that's all mixed together, and they're just lightly coated in there. We're gonna pop this into an oven that's 325 degrees, and we're gonna bake it for about 2.5 hours until these onions are cooked down and caramelized and ready to be added to the beef broth. At about 1/2 hour, I want you to check them and just stir them a little bit, and then continue to do that throughout the 2.5 hours of baking them. So it's gonna be a long, slow process, but it makes such a good soup for a cold day. Let's get them into the oven. It's been 1.5 hours, and I'm going to stir them around, make sure nothing is stuck to the bottom. And you can see how the onions have cooked down at this point and starting to get a little bit of that golden brownness. We have about another hour for them to bake in the oven before we finish up the soup. It's been about 2.5 hours, and you can see how those onions all cooked way down. And they do have some brownness to them, and that's just like a caramelization of the onions. I'm adding in a 32-ounce container of broth and 1 cup of water. If you have that 1 cup extra of broth, that's great, but that's the size of the container that I have. We're gonna season to taste with a little bit of salt. And I'm gonna leave it right in this pan and put it on top of the stovetop to heat it up. And I wanna get it all nice, hot, and bubbly. And once it is all hot, we will serve it up into our dishes. You can see that it's all heated up now, the steam is coming off, and it smells so good, especially on a cold day like today. So what we're going to do to finish it is we're going to put this into a nice mug or bowl. We're gonna add croutons or some crusty seasoned bread right on the top, and what that is gonna do is it's gonna hold the cheese that we're gonna spread all along the top and from sinking to the bottom. And we're going to put the cheese all over it, and we're gonna pop that in the oven under the broiler and have it broil it up so that it is nice and melted. Now that the cheese has been melted, the soup is all ready to be served, and it looks so good. You can see the melted cheese, the bread on there, and if we dig down a little bit, we get that melted cheese and the caramelized onions, and that broth is so rich. It's perfect for a cold day. You can find this recipe and more at beatyourneighbor.com. Have a great day.